How should I treat resentment? Previously, I talked about the good person dilemma in my video, Kidnapped by a Good Person. It comes from my real-life experience that good people don't always get treated well in return. Sometimes, they may even be taken advantage of further, simply because they are being nice to others. Then, if I consider myself a nice person, but one day I'm treated unfairly by someone, how should I respond? Should I lash out, retaliate with harsh words, let it go, or continue to treat them kindly? In my other video, Rethinking Good and Evil with Wu Wei, I also raised a question: should evil always get punished? Nowadays, some places in the world have even abolished the death penalty. Even criminals sentenced to death no longer have to be punished in the way they once were. And it seems even more complex to punish someone who treats us badly, especially when we can't be completely sure they are entirely in the wrong. What if the person is just having a bad day? This becomes even trickier when the bad person is a family member, friend, or a close acquaintance. Anyway, while I was writing all these scripts with this good and evil about superheroes versus villains, I suddenly remember a famous yet very controversial line from Confucius: repay resentment with kindness. Many people interpret this as, if someone hurts you, you not only do not hold a grudge, but you even do something good for them. But does that really make sense? How should we treat others? When others treat us well, how should we treat them? When others treat us badly, how should we then respond to them? I can assure you that I've heard this Confucius quote countless times, often used to persuade people to be patient, forgiving, merciful, and kind to those who have hurt them. People who follow this advice are often praised as big-hearted and gracious. However, over time, much like debugging a software program, another group of people noticed that the common interpretation might be a distortion of Confucius' original intent. Here is what actually happened. Someone said, "To repay resentment with kindness. What do you think of that?" The master said, "With what then will you repay kindness? Repay resentment with justice. Repay kindness with kindness." In this part, Confucius even counter-questioned the questioner. If we repay resentment with kindness, how would we repay kindness? Emotionally, most people agree that repaying kindness with kindness makes sense. But how should we repay resentment? That's where opinions start to differ. Hence, people consulted Confucius, the wise master, for guidance. Confucius' answer is clear: to repay resentment with justice. So, what does it mean to repay resentment with justice? It means approaching those who treat us unfairly with integrity. Analyze why they treated us poorly. If it's my fault, correct my behavior. If it's theirs, there is no need to compromise myself to try pleasing them. Just handle it fairly and do whatever should be done. A big misunderstanding of repaying resentment with justice is that people think Confucius advocates straightforward retaliation. Just like if someone punches me in the face, I punch back. That's not what Confucius meant. In fact, Confucius does not recommend retaliation, since treating others' wrongdoing with malice or revenge creates a vicious cycle. If everyone responds this way, we risk endless conflicts and lose not only the peace between each other, but the well-being of our communities and future generations. So next time people treat us badly, take a breath, just ask myself, is this my fault or theirs? Life will always have people who wrong us, but how we respond defines us. Stand firm when we need to, forgive when we can, and always let fairness, not anger, guide our actions. That's my take from Confucius' wisdom.